Welcome back, everyone. My name is Andrea Estrella, and you are joining Inner Journey Transformation. This is my official first episode, and today I want to share with you a little bit about my story, my background, so you can gain some insights into who Andrea is and why I'm here. So, some of what I'll be sharing is not so great, but it is part of why I'm here today and why I choose to share my story. So, first off, my story began in Bogota, Colombia, where I grew up with my three siblings. And our life could be described as very, very interesting. So picture this: four kids surviving off of brown cane sugar. And let's just say that we weren't exactly living the sugar rush life. By age 5, my siblings and I found ourselves in an orphanage. And just so you know, this orphanage wasn't like the Annie movie by no stretch of the imagination. There were challenges that we would face, and it brought us closer, but it also tore us apart. And while there were challenges that we all went through as individuals, I want to share part of my journey. And so when I reached my teenage years, so at the age of 14, I had become what I call a professional runner. I was running from pain, running from fear. I was at times running from myself. And when I was 14, I made a decision that changed my life forever. I chose to run away from a home that was filled with fear. It was filled with pain. It was filled with a lot of abuse. And I was determined to find a safer place for myself. What I didn't know then was that that decision would end one bad situation. And although I was escaping those walls, it was only the beginning of a much deeper journey, one that I had to take within myself. Those years as a young teenager taught me resilience. And over time, I realized that all that running wasn't going to get me anywhere. I realized in that moment that a seed was planted, one that I wouldn't know for many years to come about the journey that I'm on now. The reason that I'm here right now and the reason that I've survived so much trauma, abuse, and neglect and rejection is because I'm here to share with individuals the importance of self-love. And what I have found through my journey is that you can try to escape pain in many different forms. Some of us choose to numb the pain by using drugs or alcohol. Some of us used to engage in illicit activities that could lead down a very dangerous path. But when you're going through all this stuff, You begin to blame yourself. You begin to think that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy enough. And you make mistake after mistake after mistake, never really learning or feeling like you're learning anything from your experiences. And then you go back to those childhood memories of all the bad things that happened to you and all the bad experiences that you've had, and then we build bad habits. And those bad habits, for me, most importantly, became the bad habit of speaking negatively about myself. It was extremely difficult for many, many years to be able to accept a genuine compliment that came from anybody about whether they liked my smile or my brown eyes, or whether they found something about me funny or humorous. I just didn't think I was any of those things. And I struggled with that for so long. I had deep seated imprints on my life from things that I had heard as a child. You're not good enough. You're fat, or you're getting fat. You're not smart enough. You'll never amount to anything. And as a child, we're like sponges. We're absorbing everything that we are receiving from the adults around us, from our experiences. And with all of that negativity happening in our lives, it's easy to think that we are not good enough and that will never amount to anything. And you begin to believe the things that people tell you. There were many times where I wanted to give up. There were many times that I wanted to just throw in the towel and say, screw this life. This is not worth it. And I kept running away. I ran away from relationships that didn't work out because of either abuse that I was experiencing from those relationships. And they weren't just intimate relationships. The abuse came from friendships or people that I thought were friends that would use the stories that I shared with them about my past. They would actually use those things against me. And all that pain and all that hurt, it just at times was so overwhelming. And I felt lost. And I felt broken. And I felt that there was no way out of all that pain and all that rejection. And I couldn't get away from my mistakes. It seems like the more I ran away from my problems and from things that were going on, the more problems and issues I would encounter in my life. And they showed up at different times in my life in different forms. And I didn't have enough sense back then to put things to an end or to stop things before they went too far. I was at a very low place in my life, wanting to really not be around, not exist, because I didn't think I was good enough. And all this stemmed from childhood. I decided to create inner journey transformation because I felt that in order to change your life, in order to be something greater than my circumstances, than the things that I had gone through, I had to go inward. I had to go on a journey inward to be able to find myself, to begin to put together the parts of myself that I thought were broken. I thought I was broken. I thought that I was unfixable. And when I was able to do that, I was able to go inward and realize that my experiences, the fact that I was able to come over those experiences and make it through those experiences, that my purpose is to help other individuals who are today struggling with feelings of not good enough, with feelings of being insignificant, not being smart enough, comparing themselves to other people. I did that. I understand what it is to be in the shadows of your past. I understand what it is to run away and do it frequently. I ran away as soon as something went wrong when I was in an intimate relationship with someone. As soon as something went wrong, I didn't stick around for too long. I stood around long enough to accept some sort of abuse, whether it was emotional or physical. Um, it just, it was my coping. Running away was how I coped with things. I made decisions that at times I was not proud of. I held a lot of shame and I carried a lot of shame and guilt with me for years about things that I had done in the past. And I struggled. And it was hard for me to really truly feel safe and connected with people. I felt like everyone had an ulterior motive for wanting to share space with me. I felt like people were out to get me because my whole life as a young child, people were out to get me. Adults were out to get me. And it was challenging and it was difficult. But when I ran away at 14 years old and that seed was planted all those years ago about what I wanted to do to help other people, I didn't realize it then, but I remember thinking as a child that I wish that I could fix other people's problems because what I was going through was so difficult and so overwhelming. And it wouldn't be until years later that I realized that that seed that was planted, it would gnaw at me at different points in my adult life. They would gnaw at me that I had a greater purpose, that I had something to give other people, that I had hope, that I had impact, that I had inspiration to give others so that they can see the power that's inside of them. Inner journey transformation for me is about going inward. It's about facing yourself, facing your worst fears, facing your pain, and grabbing it by the horns and knowing that you have full control of all the things that are going on around you. I had given my power away to other people, to my circumstances, to my pain, to my failures, to the shame, to the guilt. I gave my power away for years. And because I know what it is to be in the dark shadows of a horrific life, I know how to connect with individuals to be able to help them to see, even if for small glimpses in their life, be able to see the power and the beauty that they possess within themselves. I'm on this journey because it's important to me to be able to help others see past their pain and be able to step into their power. Inner journey transformation for me is about being my own rescue. And being my own rescue doesn't mean that I do it alone. It means that I have enough strength and courage to seek help, to ask people for help. Because when I tried to do this alone, I failed each and every time. And I didn't realize it then, but I was learning how strong and resilient and courageous and how much I chose to persevere. Because in spite of myself, there were things that I was doing that was showing me that there was a better way. And until I was willing to ask for help, when I was willing to use all the tools and all the things that I had been gifted from others, from friends that truly and genuinely cared, I realized that I had a true gift to show the world, that I had something important to give others, that I had hope and I had inspiration to believe in themselves. Inner journey transformation is about really acknowledging and understanding that as individuals, we have everything inside of us that we need in order to live an abundant life, abundant in love, abundant in wealth, abundant in health, abundant in joy, abundant in so many wonderful and amazing things. We possess that within ourselves. It's not somewhere out there. It's not out there. All the things that we desire, that we've asked for, they are out there and they are waiting for us. And all we have to do is open ourselves up to receiving the full beauty and magic that life has to offer. But we have to take that step. We have to step out of our shame. We have to step out of our guilt. We have to step out of our not good enough mentality. We have to start telling a different story. And I know from personal experience, when I told the story of how terrible I was and how not good enough I was, I invited more things to feel not good about and not be worthy enough for. I didn't think I was worthy of love. I didn't think I was worthy of having relationships that were life-giving. And that made it difficult in many aspects of my life trying to be a good mother when I had children. It made things difficult to be a good wife when I got married for the first time in my early 20s. I couldn't be fully present to my husband at that time. I couldn't be fully present to my children at that time because I was busy thinking I wasn't good enough. And I would put on a, a facade. I would put on this face, this mask, and pretend like things were okay, but they weren't, because I always felt like I was not good enough. And when things didn't work out, I ran away. And I kept running, and I kept running. And sometimes our experiences lead us into other experiences that make us take a pause, that make us really think about what we're doing. And for some people, those changes come when something extreme happens in their life. It could be a near-death experience. It could be the loss of a loved one. For me, what really transformed my life was that I went in at a time where things were going okay. You know, I had a good job. I worked for a good company. And while I didn't enjoy what I was doing, I was miserable. I felt isolated from the world. I was behind closed doors with four walls, day in and day out, struggling with overwhelm and those feelings of not good enough and being insignificant and comparing myself. They started resurfacing. And I found myself going to places that I had no business being, back to places that I thought I had addressed years past. And they were surfacing again because I wasn't embodying the true Andrea. I wasn't going in. I was trying to fix things around me, but I wasn't working on me. I wasn't working on the things inside of me that were bothering me. Something kept saying, there's something greater than what you're doing now. And I commend and I applaud and I celebrate every individual that gives it their all when they're doing whatever it is they're doing, whether it's running a business or working for someone else. But when what you're doing isn't working and you continue to push against your own better judgment, your own intuition, and you do the thing that's making you uncomfortable and miserable, sometimes you have to look within and you have to be able to say, enough is enough. I'm ready for something better. And you have to be willing to take the necessary steps to go on that journey, to go inward, to address those limiting beliefs about yourself, to reflect on the story that you've been telling other people about yourself, especially if it hasn't been an empowering story. I've been using this technique called Reframe and Redirect for some time now. And this technique is a powerful tool, yet it's extremely simple. It has 4 components to it. And I want to share that with you today. I want you to take away something from this moment and use it so that you too can begin to find your power and see the power that you already possess within you. So the reframe and redirect technique, those 4 components are to, number 1, identify your limiting belief. Ask yourself, what story am I telling that is holding me back? And you write that down. Okay? And you sit on that for however long you need to. So after you identify what that limiting belief is and you write it down, number 2 is you challenge the truth of it. And how you challenge that is by reflecting on whether this limiting belief comes from a place where it's fact-based or fear-based. And you will find that 9.5 times out of 10, those limiting beliefs come from fear and from past experiences where somebody has said something to you, or as a child, negative things were imprinted on you. So you want to challenge those beliefs, right? And you want to address that and really reflect on whether it's fact-based, this limiting belief, or fear-based. And sit with that. You sit with that. The third component of that is that you want to reframe your language or reframe your narrative. And as an example, if you've been saying, I am not good enough because of my past, you can reframe that into something, again, in your own language. So what feels good to you, what makes sense to you, not what I'm saying, because these are just examples that I use for me. And so you can reframe that language, the story you've been telling of I'm not good enough because of my past, to I am resilient because of my past and I deserve all the good that life has to offer. And that sounds so different than because of my past, I'm not good enough, or I'm not good enough because I've made mistakes in the past. It sounds so much better to say that my past has taught me to be strong and courageous, and I deserve all the wonderful things that this life has to offer. And finally, the fourth component to reframe and redirect is to anchor your new belief in action. And how you do that is you commit with small steps, practicing your new language, your new empowering language and beliefs. And with consistency, you will see the evidence of the work that you're doing in your life. And I'm still a work in progress. Every day I'm learning something new. Every day I'm practicing how to speak better to myself, how to acknowledge the wonderful things about me that I am proud to share with other people. And so again, I encourage you to practice this reframe and redirect technique. Again, it's a simple yet powerful tool. It doesn't cost you anything except to do it. 4 steps. 4. Identify the limiting belief. Challenge its truth. Reframe your language, and then anchor the new belief with action. And you'll see the evidence of the work that you're doing to be empowered to step in your power in your life. You'll see it in your life. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that my message today and sharing a bit of myself has inspired some hope and a thought to begin to make a commitment to yourself to do the things that you were meant to do. Because what I know for sure is that I am meant to be here now, in this time, in this place, speaking to you. And I know that whoever is listening was meant to be here. I know that those that are seeking the support and the love that they've missed for so long came here today, and they found this video today because this message was meant for you. And so I ask you to commit to yourself by taking one step towards your beautiful life that is just right within reach, right through those doors, and open yourself up to what's possible in your life. I am so happy and excited to be on this journey, and I can't wait to see what my life has in store for me. There is magic, there is joy, there are things beyond my wildest dreams that are waiting for me, and I am boldly stepping into that. If what I've said has touched you in any way, please, I ask you to share it with someone who may find value or find inspiration or hope in this message. I believe that if we all come together to support each other and help each other, the world will become the place that we want to see. And I'm doing my part by becoming the change that I want to see in the world. So step boldly into the true you, because I'm stepping boldly into who I am, and I'm sharing with the world all the beauty and joy that there is to have when you just choose to speak better, think better, and do better. You can connect with me by scheduling some time on my calendar. I'll provide a link below the video. And I would love to connect with you. I would love to support you on your journey. I would love to be able to help you to find the power that you've given to other things or other people or circumstances. You can also connect with me on social media. Uh, Everything has been updated to at Inner Journey Transformation. And so if anything that I've said is of value to you and you feel that it will help you or someone else that you know of that needs to hear this message, share it with them. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. And what I commit to you, because in committing to you, I commit to myself that I will be here to support you and help you grow and share tools and share stories of things that I've experienced and how I was able to overcome and help you go on that inner journey to transformation. It's an honor and it's a pleasure to be able to share everything that I've learned along the way and to be able to connect with you. So again, I'll provide my link for you to schedule some time to connect with me. I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to see how I can help you on your journey to that inner transformation that will be seen by others on the outside. Thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe to my channel. As my channel grows, I am able to spread a message of hope and inspiration to others. And I can reach more people all over the world. Thank you so much. And until next time, toodaloo, darling.